So before jumping in the story, here's the cast. You have the DM of this campaign, who enables bad player behavior. We have the Paladin, that guy of the story, obsessed with being a powerful show-off and wants the game to be all about him. Plays a fallen Aasimar Oathbreaker Paladin. Then we have the Blood Hunter, who was the person who invited me to join the campaign. Played a Drow Blood Hunter and a variety of other characters since he was constantly changing them. He was a bit of a problem player, but less so than the Paladin. I played as a human Necromancer, and we have the Ranger and Gunslinger, a lycanthrope Ranger/Bard, and a human Gunslinger/Fighter/Rogue, respectively. Innocent bystanders in the story. The story begins with me being invited to join an entirely different game that the Blood Hunter was running over Discord. The first session went great. However, he was having major issues with scheduling the game that eventually led to it being cancelled. He felt bad for me, and so he asked the DM if I could join another game taking place on the same server, a level 13 game. DM said yes, and I was excited since I didn't get to play high level games very much. Now, a few years ago, I played a Necromancer that I absolutely loved, but his campaign ended after the DM moved away. I had trouble finding a place for him since, because few groups were that high enough level, and even then, many banned evil alignments. The DM, though, allowed it, and I was overjoyed. Because I joined the group late, I didn't necessarily know the whole story, but I learned from the Gunslinger that they had fought a lich. So I decided that while in a tavern, my character overhears the party talking about the previous encounter, and being a Necromancer, is curious and decides to join them. I learned that Ranger and Paladin work in the service of the Elf King, and Gunslinger joined them in search of treasure. Blood Hunter is also playing a new character since I think his last one died in the Lich fight, though he might have just wanted to swap characters. The first session was honestly one of the best D&D sessions I've ever had. The combat encounter was fun and creative while still being challenging, featuring an exploded alchemist lab with chemicals that cause the alchemist to randomly change into different crazy monsters. Paladin tells me that his character has an issue with necromancy, which kind of annoyed me because my character had already been okayed with the DM, but I didn't expect anything to happen beyond the possible in-character arguments, and a bit of inter-party conflict isn't a bad thing at all. Plus, it could be fun to try to see how long it would be before my character would reveal to him that he was a necromancer. Later on, the Elf King gives rewards to the party members, and the Paladin gets a parcel of land. We decide to check it out and find out that the land contains a secret underground bunker. Paladin decides to explore it by himself, locking us all out, because it's his land and he can do what he wants. This decision is entirely fair, but what's not fair is the fact that the rest of the party had to sit around doing nothing as they listened to the Paladin explore the place while we just waited. The rest of us, along with the NPC Elf Princess, eventually end up picking the lock and following him inside. We end up fighting a beholder, which we defeated easily since the Paladin scored a critical hit with a high level smite that was admittedly awesome, as well as a group of mind flayers. At some point down there, the princess got some terrible curse that put her in a coma, which Paladin wasn't able to remove. Paladin got angry at the DM for not letting him use his abilities when he wasn't able to break the curse, and when the DM told him it was something unnatural and more powerful than a typical curse, Paladin told DM that it was a lazy plot hook, and he started insulting the DM and his improv abilities, which the rest of us were all very annoyed with. Blood Hunter was also complaining for an entirely different reason. He decided his character was too edgy and not fun to play, and would not stop talking about how he wanted to play a bard instead. DM told him that he can switch his character after he dies. At this point, I wasn't having much fun anymore, but I figured it would get better. Because Paladin and Ranger are sworn to serve the Elf King and protect the princess, we went on a quest to find a powerful ancient druid who seemed like the person most likely to know what her ailment was. On the way there, Paladin finds a magic item, a sword made of stone that could cast the spell Earthquake once a day. This immediately worries me a bit since I know what the spell does, and it's really destructive and dangerous. Plus, he's already the most powerful person in the party, but I don't think much of it since so far he's been great in combat. We end up meeting with the druid. She doesn't have the cure for the princess's ailment herself, but gives us directions to the Underdark since she believes that to be the origin. She does, however, immediately recognize my character as a necromancer. Up until this point, I've been playing my character as a blaster type wizard, and in character, Paladin doesn't know he is a necromancer. She offers me a powerful magic item if in exchange I raise her husband from the dead. I tell her that I can't really do that and he would not really be alive, just undead. But she doesn't care, so I agree to do it anyway. My character seeks out power, and the possibility of getting a powerful magic item from her is too good to pass up. The instant I start casting Animate Dead though, the Paladin decides to stab the sword into the ground, casting Earthquake. I cancel the spell and immediately Dimension Door right out of there. Before I do that, out of character, Paladin begs me to take the NPC princess with me. I refuse, telling them that she's his in-character motivation, not mine, and that if she dies here, it will be his fault. The rest of the party isn't so lucky. Bloodhunter falls into a fissure and just dies, not even trying to escape or asking how much damage he took. He's just happy he could switch characters. Ranger and Gunslinger thankfully both make it out with the help of the druid, along with the princess. The Paladin just stays there and says, "I summoned the Angel of Decay." DM replies, "Wait, what were the stats for that again?" Paladin says, "It's the 3.5 ones." Upon hearing this, I'm immediately worried since we're playing 5e and I know that there's some major power imbalance between the editions, especially at high level, so I immediately metagame and look up what this Angel of Decay is, and I'm not the only player who does that. Paladin goes into telling us all his incredibly edgy backstory and how he's possessed by and has a split personality with this evil angel, and that's why he's an Oathbreaker Paladin and fallen Aasimar, and that if he dies, this evil angel will entirely take over. He then takes himself out, which causes him to entirely become the Angel of Decay, and tells us that his good Paladin personality is no more. So on. The rest of the party is like, "We're not fighting this thing, are we? Nah, let's just run away and get out of here." Paladin whines at us for not wanting to fight his edgy creation that would definitely kill us, as we leave the NPC to deal with it and move on. When we complain about this whole thing, DM apologizes and Paladin says, "It's what my character would do, he's stubborn." Now, I assume that the DM will, after this, be more careful about what he decided to allow the Paladin to get away with. Unfortunately, I was very wrong, and things only got worse. But that's a story for another time. So yeah, this doesn't make any sense at all. Your character is going to commit a TPK because you saw necromancy? Then you get mad at the person that you attacked that they didn't try to save the person you endangered? And then you decide to become an evil boss? What kind of paladin is this?